Good evening, everyone. It's Carl from Fourth and Inches back with Liam and Chris. And tonight I'm really happy to announce that we are joined by none other than Mr. Yani, the social media badman, I like to call him. Had heavy involvement in #United in terms of being their social media manager. He's played football himself for quite a while as well, and is a freelance presenter who's been doing quite a bit of work in terms of the NBA across Sky Sports. So, Yani, how are we, mate?
A solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Potential to move up. We'll see by the end of the show.
Cool. Obviously, yeah, you said you're feeling a bit under the weather today.
Oh, I've got the sniffles, got the man flu. But during COVID season, that's just a bit of a techie thing to have. So I am posted right here in my room. Absolutely no one will be seeing me. I hope you boys are good.
No worries. Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Chris, Liam, how are we?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm not bad, to be fair.
Yeah, all good too. All good.
Is your camera on, Yanni, or you? Oh yeah, it's cool. I didn't have it on for some reason. It's just
frozen.
Yeah, I don't know if you actually saw what I put together there, Yanni. I thought it was a bit of banter. I just saw some of your videos and stuff.
all I seen was a one-handed snaffle. That's all I seen.
Mate, I've done so much dumb-ish on the internet, mate. Yeah, Jesus. I forget about some of it.
That's it. I was looking for stuff and I come across. I don't know what website it was. There was loads of stuff that you posted. I was like, yeah, I love that. I'll take that. But yeah, mate, if you could introduce yourself for some people on our channel that might not know who you are, just give us a bit of a background about yourself, how you got into football, and
We'll say no more. Big up to everyone first and foremost for tuning in. Fourth and Inches. Up to you guys. Thanks for having me on, of course. Well, I mean, the journey for me when it came to NFL started when I was around 13. I've been playing American football since I was 13. I'm now 23. That's 10 years in the game. Happy to say. So yeah, the love for NFL started a long time ago for me. And you'll find one of the rare or potentially the only sort of like young creator that's actually played American football in the UK. I started off at the Kent Exiles and I've stayed at the Kent Exiles for my whole career. This same club that sort of Neil Reynolds from Sky Sports from, his son George, my brother James Cook, also GB quarterback. And yeah, so yeah, I've been playing Brit ball for a very long time. Won the Brit Bowl my last year of under 19s, won season MVPs. And yeah, I've really laid it all out on the line when it comes to this game. I do love this game dearly.
It's well, I'll say this. Look, we didn't end up playing that much, should we say? Myself and Chris tried to get back into it a couple of years ago, didn't we, mate? And we were over at the Leicester Falcons for a little bit, but unfortunately, with everything that's gone on, it never really carried on for us. So I think I'm too old for it now, personally. But I do envy you, mate. I wish I got into it at an earlier age rather than playing football, to be honest.
Yeah.
What position did you play, Yana?
Well, I started playing wide receiver, and then I ended up transitioning into quarterback. So I played QB for 2 years. Had a sensational stint there, and then ended up going back to wide receiver because my boy James, who, like I said, was GB quarterback, ended up coming up. So we had a QB battle with two, well, at least in my opinion, two of the best QBs in the country at the time, which was a nightmare because I wasn't going to leave Kent. But I'm sitting there so sort of clearly better than every quarterback in the country, apart from this one kid. But I stayed at the Kent Exiles, and then, yeah, like I said, one season MVP as wide receiver that year that he came. So quarterback and receiver, I can do it both.
What have you got any? You're still playing at the moment? Obviously, not much is going on with lockdown, but you're still with Kent Exiles at the moment, yeah.
As soon as the 2021 sort of season starts kicking off, etc., I will be there. But it's just not happening, really, is it? So
no.
Yeah, just focusing on talking about ball, less so about playing it.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. So, talking about it, who is it that you follow, mate? Obviously, we know. No one else will know who you follow from our channel.
Yeah, so I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. I have been since I started following it in 2011. I sat there and watched Billy Cundiff miss field goals, Lee Evans drop puck. So I have been on this journey. Nobody can tell me that I haven't. I've sat through boring Flacco 8 and 8 years post Super Bowl. I sat there and watched the Super Bowl, even though I had school the next day. That power cut was a right nightmare, by the way. I'm sitting there. I've only got 2 hours and I've got to be in for French. Anyway, I've been here and lived this life. And now, of course, we've got the unanimous MVP on our team. It's a good time to be a Baltimore Ravens fan if you discount the absolute atrocity that went on last night. Cheers, boys. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm sure. We'll delve into that in a little bit, mate. To be fair, in terms, what I would ask
to ask his question, Annie.
Yeah,
I'm dying, mate. Yeah.
I think he's happier on just because like he's a massive Mahomes fan. In the comparison between Lamar Jackson. So I apologise, mate. It might be a bit of banter between you two going on. What I would ask is like a lot of people at the moment.
Struggling to take it at the moment as well.
I'm going to really die. Like, you said you was an 8 out of 10 earlier and you got potential to grow. I'm definitely going to make you die worse. That's potentially where this is going. That's kind of why I'm standing a bit silent right now. I'm going to let you have your moment and then that's when I'm going to come in and I'm just going to be like, so about last night.
Oh dear. Obviously, Yanni, you yourself, you're trying to push NFL to the UK fans a lot as well. It more so now than ever. What would you say to those fans that are kind of teetering on the edge, where they're not sure whether they can get into it or whether they can stick with it to enjoy it? Because I can appreciate where some people are coming from, that it can be a bit long-winded, if that makes sense. What would you say to those fans to kind of keep them on track to continue watching, to get the bug?
The NFL is such a dynamic sport, and actually something that I've only sort of been able to articulate over, I'd say, the past year or so, is I think the easiest thing to do is sort of have a look around and identify players that you love, because it's the players and certain styles that catch your eye. People know the stars. That's what the league's branded on. So if you're just on the cusp of sort of starting to get into the NFL, etc., find those superstars. You don't even have to support. Do not go in there thinking I need to support a team straight away and then try and support a team. It just won't work, because you'll end up picking the New York Giants because you went to New York once, and then you'll have a terrible time. Find your superstars. Find who you like, and you'll start enjoying the league slowly and slowly. You'll start watching those highlights on YouTube. You'll go from 30-minute, and the next thing you know, you're watching the 40-minute condensed.
Yeah, that brilliantly put, mate. I couldn't put that any better myself. I'm just obviously.
I also find. Do you not think though that they should tune into Red Zone? Because
mate, what an experience, bro!
Because a lot of the like criticism around American football is it's too stop-start, it's too broke up, there's too many breaks and stuff like that. I think that's where Red Zone for new American football fans will stand out, because it's always something about to happen.
7 hours of commercial-free football. Stick that right in.
Just before we get into a bit more football, mate, what is it? How did you get into basketball as well? Because obviously you're a huge basketball fan, and obviously you do a lot of coverage basketball-wise. You freelance with regards to working with Sky Sports as well. How did all that come about, mate?
Yeah. So I actually ended up, I sort of got into basketball a little bit earlier than I did American football, but picked up American football sort of more by the scruff of the neck. But point being, sort of similar story. Started playing it in primary school, etc., and then just started getting into the league, and I fell in love with superstars. I started playing at a fairly high level, nationals, and yeah, I fell in love with the X's and O's. This is what it is, basketball and American football, because they're very similar, in terms of X's and O's, in terms of coverage, in terms of superstars having their styles. I think it was very easy for me to fall in love with both. And people always ask me, which one do I prefer? And it's very 1A, 1B. Right now, it feels like No, see, I'm not going to answer that. So I actually don't know.
You was about to say basketball, but I was about to.
I was going to say NFL, but I don't want to do that to basketball. It's the finals. How can I do that to the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose when you look at it from that point of view, because I think it's a lot different with, because I'm the same NBA, NFL. That's me. That is, I'm at home with them, and I find that the NFL is like, I love the NFL season, but obviously NBA, the playoffs and stuff like that.
Different grade.
Being a Celtics fan has been tough this week, but it's it's one of them. Like I'm with you. Like the playoffs are just. I don't follow as much as the regular season. I tend to not watch a lot of the regular season just because of the time difference and stuff like that. But I do try and keep with it. But the NBA playoffs, again, it's so good. There's so many different stories though, and I think a lot of people have that with the NFL though, because it's just a one and done thing. Like you can get drawn into it a bit more with the playoffs, but I think the season being so short as well, and the new change this year, we've obviously going to 7 teams in the playoffs. Like it makes the seedings more important. It makes everything more important. So the regular season becomes more important.
Well, is that it's a 16-game regular season, man. Every game's a cup final. Like the difference between what 5 and 3. I'm really gonna fuck up my maths here. And 4 and 4, it's ridiculous, right? Do you know what I mean? It's so big, and so that's why if you're watching the games, you've got to understand how big it is. I'd relate it similar to F1, how every race is just huge. Do you know what I mean? Every game's a cup final in the NFL. That's what makes it so great.
I agree.
Is there any teams you look at, like in regards to the NFL season so far? You look at the teams that are like 0-3, or like maybe even if you look to the Eagles' record where they're 0-2-1. You look at them and you think to yourself, is there any of these teams you actually think can make a play in the playoffs?
Not really.
No.
I've got no hope for the Falcons. I've got no hope for the Eagles. It's looking pretty dire for the 0-3 teams. The New York Jets.
I mean,
Jesus Christ, yeah. No, it's
New
looking
York
pretty
football
dire.
is dire.
Yeah.
New York football is bad.
New York football is very bad. It's very depressing. And there's
Couldn't you argue that
fucking
New York sport in general?
there's too many New York fans in England.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like you say, it's just because they've been to New York once and that's it. They support a New York team, unfortunately for them. What I was going to ask is Buccaneers, mate, because I am a massive Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, and I have been for a long time, to be fair. So no one can accuse me of jumping on the bandwagon at all.
Freeman question.
Say that again, sorry.
You were there during the Josh Freeman days.
Mate, I've still got a jersey, to be fair. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
My it was my other half's grandparents brought me back from Tampa, and that was the jersey I got. So yeah, it kind of kicked on from there. But how do you think they're going to fare this season? What do you mean?
You leave
Jameis alone. You leave Jameis alone.
He's pipe, and you know it.
Right, you're a Panthers fan. You can say nothing. Anyway, where do you think we're going to fare this season, mate? Have you got high hopes for us? Obviously, making playoffs and kicking off.
I do. I think you're going to slowly figure it out. I think of the old QBs, and I'm sure we'll end up touching on the Saints at some point. But I like him, Brady. Christ, the man's 43. The man's 43, playing in a new team for the first time in God knows how many years. I don't have any issues, and considering the weapons he's got, for me, it's the same take that I would have had before the season. Regardless of a little bit of a rough start, etc. Obviously, everyone getting a little bit scared after the first game of the season. No issues, absolutely no issues. This is Tom Brady. Gone.
He never plays well in December. He never plays well in September anyway. Like he didn't when he was at the Patriots. He never played well at the Patriots. We were a slow flying team. We was always. Like that first month of the season was always difficult. And then October, we started to figure it out. Get to November, December, you see the best TB12 you'll ever see. And all of a sudden, with them weapons, they're a force, aren't they, in the NFC? They're a force.
That's it. Big shout out to Mike Evans in his 2-2-2 game, by the way.
Oh, mate, unreal. Unbelievable.
Wasn't good for me fantasy, though.
I was going to say, it killed your fantasy off, didn't it? Killed your fantasy team.
Yeah, just get some yards would be wonderful.
Yeah. And you play a lot of fantasy football yourself as well, Yanni?
Mate, yeah. I got my team this year with my boys. We actually we get together every year at one of the boys' house and do a proper draft. Manual. Yeah.
With the board, with the actual board.
This year, the boys decided to nerd out, and they went on Cameo and paid Scott Hansen to announce our draft order.
No,
love that.
We have some like convoluted way to like announce the draft order. Like we all like race or something. I don't know. Like we always do something stupid. But this year they were like, "Oh, what are we doing for draft order?" One of the boys just said like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll sort it." And then we're all just sitting there watching a video of Scott Hansen, and it's like, Yanni 7. That was £80 well spent. Cheers, Scott. But like I said, bruv, like I really live this life.
Love that, mate. Love that.
That's a man that's watched the league. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you've got to have watched the league, surely.
Yeah, I've watched the league.
I'm hoping you've got your own Shiva then.
Yeah, you've got what? So what's your trophy called then?
You what? Sorry.
What's the trophy called that you win?
Are you talking about the show with Terrell Suggs?
No, I'm on about the league. They've got the Shiva at the league.
The show.
Yeah.
Oh mate, I've seen it, but I haven't actually watched it. I can tell.
Oh okay. Okay, no.
Good watch. If you ever get a chance, get a good watch.
Yeah, you need to check it out, mate. You need to check that out. It's good, to be fair. I'll say that again. Sorry.
No, I said I've seen it a couple of times. No, I will delve at some point.
Yeah, it's decent. Easy watch, mate. Easy watch. Beeves, I'll pass over to you, mate. I'll let you start off on the Ravens if you want.
So we're going on to last night's game.
Go on then.
Right. My question is going to be: where do you rank Lamar Jackson amongst other QBs? Because I asked this question and I've got criticism about this. I don't think he's a top 5 QB in the league.
I don't think he's a top 4 QB.
I don't think he's a top 5 QB.
That's ridiculous.
Mate, he doesn't think that he's a top 10.
Absolutely ridiculous. He was literally the unanimous. Can you tell me how many quarterbacks have been a unanimous MVP before?
The thing is with that, the thing is about that MVP though is he got it because he broke the rushing record. But
again, honestly, the Ravens went 14-2, man. Lamar was clean cold all season. This season, if you're talking recency bias has got to kick in after last night, right? But after week 2, we're sitting there going, Lamar's literally not even put a foot wrong. He's barely over 24 times, and the Ravens are absolutely killing it. He definitely is. He definitely is a top 5 QB in the league.
I think the Ravens team it's a really good team. Say again, sorry.
I'd rather have Lamar Jackson than Russell Wilson.
Oh no.
Controversial.
No, Russ Wilson and Mahomes are the best 2 QBs in the league.
So obviously, after last night, I will happily sit there and bash Lamar a little bit.
I respect like obviously everyone's decision about QBs and stuff like that. Like I look at Lamar and I think to myself like it's not so much like I get that the MVP and everything like that is always a regular season award. Like I care about what happens when you get to crunch time because obviously I get rookie year. Okay, you were playing away at the Chargers in the playoffs and he just crumbled. And then I expected it. You're coming off an MVP. And you get the Titans in your building. Like I expected him to turn up, and I thought he just didn't show up in a big moment. And like when you get to that point, like I mean, obviously he's 2 years into the league. We're going into the 3rd season here. Like if he crumbles again in the playoffs,
I mean,
Like,
there's just an argument to be made that in that first year with the Chargers, I mean, he literally got chucked in halfway through the year because Joe Flacco gets injured. Right? Okay, so that's his rookie year. And then the Ravens, Derrick Henry, which is a massive issue. Now, obviously, this is me defending Lamar. Lamar could have certainly stepped up, but still younger than Joe Burrow.
he's far better than Joe Burrow.
And he's younger than him. I don't mind
Yeah,
it. I don't mind it.
I just want to see, like, I suppose, like, I'm not willing to jump on the bandwagon with him. Like, until you can show me you can do it when it most matters at the most, obviously, in the playoffs. Like, you want to see, you wanted to.
We've been clouded. We've been clouded by the fact that Mahomes in his third year has done the absolute mazza. Right? We're warped because he's come in and won the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl MVP. If Mahomes hadn't done that, we'd be giving Lamar a lot more time.
Do you not think as well though, like, because he gets compared to obviously other rushing quarterbacks, he gets compared to the Cam Newtons, he gets compared to the Russell Wilsons, who have all gone to the playoffs and performed as well in the playoffs as they do in the regular season. Because you got to think, if Lamar Jackson plays like he does in the regular season last year in the playoff game, you win that game.
We should have won that game.
Like, and I'm kind of like a little bit like I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for that game where I want to see him in the big moment in the game when it matters. Like, you wanted to see it last night, didn't you? Realistically, you wanted him last night to turn up and go, "Yeah, Mahomes, you're in our building. Like, let's go."
You did, and there was a lot wrong last night. I've mentioned this before. The Ravens don't play well when they're down. Lamar did his best to try and pick things up, but even, he missed throws. Receivers dropping has been a massive issue. Receivers are dropping 14% of their passes this year for the Ravens, which is a massive issue. So there's a lot wrong, and it's easy to dish on Lamar, but no, there is a lot wrong with Ravens as a whole.
So where do you see them progress, them getting to this year? What do you sort of see with the record? And
they'll have an unbelievable regular season, as they should. They're still one of the strongest teams in the league. Just because the Chiefs are stronger doesn't mean that they're not. They'll still.
No, they're a stacked team. Their team is stacked. Look, I'm a massive Mark Ingram fan. You've got a great O-line. Your defense is solid. Marcus Peters is a ball hawk. Might have a little bit of an attitude problem. Can get a bit big because he gets too cocky, but he will take away the ball.
Yeah, you're right. It's absolutely stacked. We're missing Marshall Young, especially from last year. Right now, we're starting Tyree guard. He's a rookie. Bradley Bozeman, Matt Skura, Ronnie Stanley, and Orlando Brown. Last night, the O-line struggled. Couldn't protect Lamar. And normally Lamar's all right against the blitz. Normally Lamar fares well against the blitz, but last night against the Chiefs, for whatever reason. The Chiefs are a cheat code, man. They've got Chris Jones and Frank Clark on the line.
It's one of them where it's like the Rams a couple of years ago when all of a sudden they were making free agent signings and they're signing all these players and they're paying all these players and you're thinking to yourself, well, how are they paying him as well? And how have they signed him as well? You look at how are people still getting paid?
I don't know where the Chiefs are still getting the money from, man. They're dipping into reserves. Can't believe. But yeah, I did a Instagram live stream last night. I was just breaking down the game as I was seeing it last night. I was, breaking down the protections, telling you what was wrong, etc., etc. And there was a significant amount wrong. Greg Roman didn't call that great a game. Wink Martindale, our defensive coordinator, struggled as well. Busted coverages left, right, and centre from the DB. Honestly, I could literally spend 17 minutes talking about what went wrong last night, but I'm not going to for my mental health.
Understandable, mate. Understandable. So, obviously, you expect to come out on top. I believe you at the Bengals next week. Is that right? Is it Ravens Bengals next week?
That's right. Yeah, and we're going to wipe the floor with them and then get back on.
Yeah,
it's a good rebound game for you, isn't it?
I mean, if you get the Bengals any time on your schedule, you got to be happy, ain't you? But you get them twice a year, so you got to be happy with that. The Browns as
Big
well.
mic on.
Who's sorry?
Mine.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry for Joe Burrow.
I'm not a Joe Burrow
Okay.
fan. I'm not.
You say you're not a Joe Burrow fan?
I'm not a Joe Burrow fan.
You should be.
Tell him why. Tell him why.
This man put together single-handedly the closest thing we've ever seen to a perfect college quarterback season. I mean,
I don't.
I've
The stats don't lie about that.
for flawless QB performance. Came in, won the national championship against a strong Clemson team and Trevor Lawrence. The man was surgical. Played calm.
His whole offense is now playing in the NFL, though.
Yeah, absolutely fine. But he's come into the Bengals organization. He's taken it. He's taken it by the scruff of the neck. He's walked in. Everyone respects him now in that organization to a point where they let him throw 61 times in week 1.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, this boy's a baller. As soon as the Bengals get their ish together.
well, I don't know when that'll be because they've got a lot of problems. The Bengals have. Like what they're going to do with AJ Green at the end,
They've
end of
spent
the year.
I know.
Where do you expect them to finish up this year, Yanni? Do you think they've got time to get it together and have a decent finish to the season? Or?
The Bengals?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Browns have picked up after losing to the Ravens in week 1. The Steelers and the Ravens, they're in the AFC North. The Bengals are going to get slapped down. They're going to find it really hard to even put together anything close to a 5-11 season.
Yeah, I don't see the Bengals picking up many wins. That division is really tough. You've got, but I think the Steelers have made an impressive start. Their defense is impressive. It's with them though. It all comes down to if Big Ben's healthy, like he has the odd game where he throws 5 interceptions, but he ain't scared to just throw it again. It's like they're out with him throwing it away.
Yeah,
and Mike Tomlin's a quality head coach.
He is. Yeah, he has been for a very long time, frustratingly so. The Steelers frustrating. Quick one, by the way. Sorry, the Ravens, that's a fact check. Ravens playing Washington next week and Bengals in week 5. But back to their defense is unbelievable, man. Every single time. I just don't know how they do it, bruv. And they must have the same frustrations towards us. But like the fact, like to be fair, like I'm pretty happy that sort of my teams, it is excellence everywhere. Do you know what I mean? The Steelers and Ravens going toe to toe all the time.
Mm.
You know, defensive excellence constantly, and that game's always going to be a slug. Fair play to Big Ben for coming back after last year as well, and the Steelers managing to develop more receivers. It's so frustrating. Chase Claypool had his concerns coming out of the draft. They've turned him to a player. You've got Deontay Johnson. You've got Juju Smith-Schuster there. It's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah,
it's an absolute nightmare for the AFC.
I think I said a few weeks ago that this season would probably be make or break for Juju, really, because what was it? Last year, he had Big Ben out all year. The year before that, his first season,
Can you boys hear him?
He's quite quiet, isn't he?
And he had Antonio. Is any better?
Big up to the live stream.
Isn't it?
Can you hear him now, mate?
Is that any clearer?
No.
Can you hear him, Beeves?
I could just about hear him, Matt. I think it's quite quiet order.
Liv, do you want to drop out and come back in?
Pick up the live stream. Anyway, the live stream's gone well there. But I think what Liam was about to say was like he thinks that it's going to be a big year for Juju because of the fact of last year he had Big Ben injured all year. The year before that he was playing second fiddle and everyone's going, yeah, but you've got Antonio Brown the other side. You're free. That's why you're free. But like for me, they add the young receivers in. You get more of Juju. You get a fit Ben Roethlisberger. James Conner running the ball. It's a good O-line. It's a quality defense. It's going to make a difference.
There's a lot of people around the league that don't believe in Juju as number one. So you're right. It's certainly time for him to step up. I personally don't think he could ever be a number one. Not an incredible one.
Yeah, I mean, until you see it, you don't know, though, do you? Like that's the because it's all right thinking that I mean, he played with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's one of the best receivers the game's ever seen. Could do it all, and then I mean, he was. I still remember that game between the Ravens and the Steelers, and it was whoever won got in, and he caught the ball on the 1 yard line. He was just dragging people into the end zone.
Yep.
Just incredible. You got to have been happy to see him leave, and then obviously Le'Veon Bell leaves as well, and the Steelers they just keep coming.
They do keep coming, mate. I'm telling you, bruv. They're an absolute nightmare, and I mean, for a long time. To be fair, the Steelers and the Ravens, they never fall below that 8-8, that 7-9 mark. You just don't catch them like that. Obviously, the year we drafted Ronnie Stanley 6th overall was somewhat of an exception to that. But apart from that, for the Ravens, they both exude just excellence.
Yeah. Two really well-coached teams as well. A lot of people have slept on Harbaugh as a coach.
Definitely,
a lot of people have slept on him.
Some of the boys were saying to me yesterday, Devin Duvernay goes for 93 yards on a kickoff return. And they're like, how do Ravens always have returners? And John Harbaugh was originally a special teams coach. It's just a well set up organisation, man.
100%.
So you expecting to finish out on top of the AFC North, mate?
Yeah, certainly, absolutely.
Moving on from there onto the AFC East, what do you make of the Bills this season?
I really like the Bills. Their defense is looking a bit softer than I certainly would be. But their offense is proving that they can score points, man. Putting up, and nobody, the Bills' identity last year was sort of, we'll score 16 points, grind it out, and the final score will be 16-10 or 16-13.
Yeah.
Josh Allen developing into a touch passer is something we didn't see coming.
I've been so impressed with his development.
And really, yeah, absolutely. He looks incredible. I wonder if he'll continue being this guy.
Yeah, I know.
The Bills battle it out this year, and obviously the Dolphins will be battling out for who can be worse.
Yeah, it was another incredible week for him, wasn't it? Putting up, I think it was 311 yards, 4 TDs. Against obviously not the strongest Rams defense they've ever had, but still a strong Rams D, to be fair. So yeah, massively impressed with it.
And Allen proving that he can jump in and win these tight games. You know what I mean? It's really impressive to see, because again, this is a guy that just everyone had so many doubts about.
Yeah.
He's proven that he's a passer as well.
So erratic. Sorry?
Yeah, I was just saying, I think he's proven that he can actually pass the ball, as opposed to last year, he was considered as very much a running QB, and then this year he's like we said, he's passing it a lot. What was it on Sunday against the Rams? They took that big lead, then it fall apart, and then to come back the way they did, and to see out the game against, let's be honest, it is still a strong Rams team, was very impressive.
It is. No, you're right. And Stephon Diggs has been incredible for them.
That's the difference, though, and you feel like you can throw the ball when you've actually got a number one receiver.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? The Bills before have had to deal with, a wide receiver core of Zay Jones and,
yeah,
and Woods was there, but Stephon Diggs going toe to toe with Jalen Ramsey and beating him over the top, that's just different gravy. You need if you've got a guy like that on your team, it just helps your QB massively.
Oh, big time! It helps the rest of the team as well.
Yeah, definitely does. Do you expect them to carry on the way they're going, mate? Do you expect them to keep putting the numbers that they are, or is it something you could predict is going to fall off?
The Bills showed us last season that they can put together a regular season, and that's quite a skill, actually. That's something that an organisation learns. Can you put together a regular season? That comes with time. They did it last year. I think with Josh Allen playing the way he is this year, and the addition of Stephon Diggs, and I absolutely can.
They're
I've got
still
them winning.
crumbling New England.
I've got them winning the AFC East still, though.
Hey, I think I fancy the Pats.
Really?
Yeah.
I do, yeah. They just
Our defense is too good.
they haven't missed a step, but I mean they look rejuvenated. They're so strong.
It's Cam Newton.
Slotted right in.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
What
He
does
didn't
that
play
say?
that well. He didn't play that well Sunday.
Yeah, he still won now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
completions he missed about 10 throws that he probably should have, but Stoney Michel did the bits, over 100
Yeah.
yards. Just the whole Patriots offense as a whole just looks decent.
I think it's the defense as well. Our defense is so. I mean, having Gilmore is a massive, massive thing. He is a shutdown corner. Like that is what he like. It's bread and butter. I mean, JC Jackson. Don't sleep on him either, because them boys are they're after the ball. They'll be knocking it. They're always in tight coverage. We can leave their man and go hunting. That's the best thing.
The team's scared to throw that way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be interesting this week because we've got the Chiefs, though.
Oh, mate, good luck, geez.
That's an L.
We got
That
the
an
Chiefs.
L for you.
We got the Chiefs this week. Mahomes does. I'm accepting of it. Like, I mean, we've dominated this division for so long. However, like, I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, the Bills this, the Bills that." Yeah, the Bills again. Like, I mean, the Rams. Nobody really expects a lot from them. They've also beat the Jets. Like, wicked. Well done. Like, the Bills have got to beat somebody impressive. Then I'll be interested. And they've got to come to New England.
Rex Burkhead, by the way, 7 receptions, 49 yards, 1 TD, and then ran for 6 carries, 49 yards, 2 TDs. A rare 3 touchdown game from Rex Burkhead. It comes up every now and again. You love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, Sonny Michel broke a record for the Patriots. He's the he had 9 carries for 112 yards. He's the first running back we've had that's carried the ball less than 10 times for over 100 yards.
Interesting.
Talking about running backs, obviously
running
moving.
It's then just a load of LeGarrette Blounts.
Talking about running backs, Derrick Henry having another monster game this weekend. I mean, where do you see the Titans? Obviously, they're 3-0. I expected them to start strong after the season they had last year, but I wasn't expecting 3-0 personally. How do you see them going? Obviously, Ryan Tannehill didn't throw for any TDs, still threw for, I think it was over 300 yards. But yeah, Derrick Henry getting it done again. What do you make of the Titans, mate? You hear me?
Mate, Vrabel's got these guys operating at such a high level, man. Such a high level. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting that everyone knows they're going to give the ball to Derrick Henry. And they still just get it going. Give the ball to Derrick Henry. It's just not hard. And the thing is, the first 2 weeks, Ryan Tannehill really propelled them. He's been killer in the red zone. Every single time he marches down, he's been fantastic. Derrick Henry averaging just 4 yards a carry. If you're giving him the ball that much and he's still averaging a carry, it's just you're going to win football games.
Yeah,
you just flat out are. And Ryan Tannehill on deep balls has been Ryan Tannehill on deep balls, and the thing is, teams are scared, man. Because if you're sitting there packing the box on Derrick Henry, which everyone knows you should, you will get stung over the top, and Tannehill will punish you. And now, don't get it twisted. I was out on Tannehill. I was well out, gone. I left the station, big man. But I'm in. I'm back in. I believe in I believe in the Titans.
I think. Do you think
And
it'll
it's
be
very
close?
good to see, to be honest. AJ
Yeah.
Brown playing. Sorry, receivers that like you just don't know.
Who do you think it will be between? Do you think it will be between them and the Colts? Because obviously the Colts defense have been putting up absolute numbers as well, and obviously the Vikings have been nothing short of a shambles. To be fair, do you think it's going to be between? Well, Titans probably taking the division and the Colts finishing up second, or do you see a surprise comeback from the Vikings?
Wrong division.
Wrong division.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was just thinking about the game from the Texans.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything from the Jags. That, and I love Gardner. I love Gardner Minshew just like anyone else. But no, right. Give me the Titans. Like I said, they beat my Ravens, man. It's not the easiest thing to do, but they've just been so impressive since Ryan Tannehill came in. And Derrick Henry is one of my favourite running backs in the league. There's a lot to be said about the Tennessee Titans. Do I like the Colts? Not that much. Not that much. They will keep winning games because they've got Philip Rivers quarterback. But I just don't think their ceiling's that high.
Yeah,
they'll lose games because of Philip Rivers as well.
Potentially,
because he loves a turnover. That last year at the Chargers, the reason they shipped him was because they'd had enough of the games where he throws 4 interceptions. But then when they played the Raiders on a Thursday night football, he threw 5 interceptions, and you're like, who are you throwing to?
This is the thing, you know. Now he's getting old, and it's the same thing with Drew Brees, and it's the same thing that happened when Peyton Manning started declining. Is that you can't get that much zip on the ball no more. You're starting to duck balls. You're starting to loft them. You ain't got that zip, despite how great your mind is, which is reigns true for Rivers, Manning, and Breeze. You're really going to struggle.
You think it's already over for the Texans, mate?
Unfortunately, so, mate. Now, like we said, obviously they've had a tough schedule. Shout out to the Chiefs, though, by the way, who theoretically should be getting looked at as a team that has a tough schedule. Texans taking on the Ravens, Chargers. Obviously, we're not gonna we'll call off on that, but and then the Patriots. But back to the Texans. Listen, I love Deshaun Watson as much as any man, but that start to the season has just done them no favors. Absolutely stinks. Actually, it just sucks so much. Like when the schedule makers do you like that.
I think, the thing is with the Texans schedule as well, is they've got a tough division because, the Colts defense is playing ball. Tennessee, it's always close, and Derrick, they take over the ball. I'm interested to see David Johnson. I want to see him do more.
I don't know how much more he is going to do, man. With that O-line. Like, that O-line was supposed to be one of the best in the AFC South. At least that's what everyone thought sort of pre-season. And it just has not reigned true. They can't. I mentioned it in one of my videos. Deshaun Watson took 20 hits in his first 2 weeks. That is unacceptable. That is just unacceptable. Aaron Rodgers has been sacked twice.
They're a team.
And both of them.
They're a team people need to be wary of because Aaron Rodgers is on it.
He is.
You
will, with a line playing the way the Packers line is right now. I was looking into it earlier with my boy Josh. David Bakhtiari, top-rated left tackle in the league right now. Everybody else on that Packers line has switched positions. By the way, they've just been sort of with injuries.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they've all been switching, they're still one of the top-rated O-lines in the league, which is incredible. Corey Lindsey, the top-rated center in the league, and that's the kind of stuff that you need to win a Super Bowl, and that's the kind of stuff that the Texans don't have right now. And so, free my brother Deshaun Watson, get him out of there, man. It's not going to happen.
Well, they just paid him, didn't they? There's no way they're getting out of there now.
Of course, Of course, it'd be interesting. I don't sit here and bag on Bill O'Brien. I think it's a waste of time. But I know people do like Bill O'Brien.
I think that people don't understand the off-season moves, like moving DeAndre Hopkins. People are just like, what? Why would you ever let talent like that leave?
Gee, I don't know. Maybe they thought that they could do it without Hopkins. They
I think it was about putting the trust in Deshaun, and then you obviously bring in Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, David Johnson comes on the trade, and you think to yourself, like, you still lost a piece there because you're still thinking, where's your number one receiver? Is Brandon Cooks number one receiver? Realistically, probably not.
I mean, despite the 3 1,000-yard seasons, no.
Like, I look at the Texans and I think to myself, like, the defense hasn't been there. If JJ Watt picks up another injury, they're not going to be anywhere near it again. The Titans are playing well. The Colts defense is there. Like, it's going to be a tough one for them. I think they'll have a say in the 7th playoff spot this year. They'll be close to it, but again, it's up for grabs in that, especially with the Steelers playing well, both the Bills and the Patriots. You've got Oakland playing well. I mean, I expected a bit. I thought Denver would do all right, but obviously with the injuries to Drew Lock, it's a massive issue with the injuries to Drew Lock.
Cortland Sutton as well. Von Miller out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it sucks, man. That truly sucks, bro. We were all looking forward to the Denver Broncos, man. We really were.
I was high on Drew Lock. Very high.
Yeah. He just looked good. He just looked at the end of the 2019 season. There's a lot to like about that defense. Von Miller and Bradley Chubb coming off the edge, and that offense. After Jesus Christ, I mean, they went all in. They saw Drew Lock performed a little bit at the end of last season, and they went for it. KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy, boom. First 3 rounds, get 2 receivers in. Incredible. Sign Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay in the backfield. That's 2 Pro Bowlers. Like I said, there's a lot to like about this Broncos team, but they've just absolutely flopped. Last point on the Texans, they play the Vikings next week, the Jags, then the Titans. Ooh. It's just nice, man. Like, they might the Jags game, there's every chance they lose the Vikings game. And there's
I don't know,
So they'll end up 1-5.
They're both Vikings, Texans. They're both. It's a must-win for both of them, isn't it? To be fair, to at least get off the mark because they're both 0-3 now.
Yeah, 2 teams that love riding their running backs as well. It would be a proper old school affair.
Yeah. What do you make of Kirk Cousins this season?
Do you know what? Cousins just has so many spells. Or makes throws where you go, oh wow, that's why you paid him. But Jesus Christ, does the guy love to go missing?
Yeah,
he just loves going missing. The shit making. His arm talent's great, and the thing is, he's always been such an accurate passer. But my God, he's a very frustrating quarterback to watch. Perhaps one of the most frustrating in the league.
This is definitely like his worst season though out of all the seasons he's been in the league, and he's always come under criticism and in front like this because he can't win on a Monday night, he can't win in prime time and all this kind of stuff. He
can't win any time at the moment.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, like, the seasons before this, when all the people were criticising him, they forget he walked into New Orleans last year and handed it to Drew Brees and the Saints.
He did.
They forget that sort of stuff. They forget that when he was at Washington and he dragged them to the playoffs, they got Green Bay in the first round and he nearly walked out of that one with the win. Like, they forget that Kirk Cousins has the ability to play this game at a high level. Okay, he's not started great this season, but if the Vikings were that good and he didn't matter as much to them, then it would show. But the Vikings defense hasn't turned up.
No.
At all.
No, you're right. He hasn't. And I'm just looking at the stats from the game now. Big shout out to Justin Jefferson, who actually
big game.
He ended up rating out as the highest rated player from week 3 PFF, which is impressive. 7 receptions for 175 yards. Big man. Dalvin Cook, Dalvin Cook carried the ball 22 times, 181 yards, averaging 8.2, man. How do you lose a game with all these stats? You're right, man. The Vikings defense needs to step up. They look like... And the thing is, they let go of Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah.
And granted, he really didn't have a good year, but now like he's just had a 2-interception week with the Colts.
Pick 6 as well.
Yeah.
I just look at it and I think to myself, like, the Vikings defense, like, all this criticism is the O-line obviously they've stepped up this week. They've got the running backs have gone up this week, but where is that defense that's like everybody knows? I mean, the rumors that are coming out as well are that Anthony Barr is going to be sacrificed because they've got problems with salary cap. So they're going to lose Anthony Barr at the end of the year.
Anthony Barr, Eric Hendricks, Harrison Smith, Yannick Ngakoue. They've just brought in this is they just drafted Jeff Gladney, who they're expecting big things from. This is a defense that should be doing bits, man.
And they just get scored on every week. The corner's getting beat every week.
Like I said, big shout out to Xavier Rose. I'm sure he's smiling somewhere.
Yeah.
I take it you were high on the Packers running out on that division, mate.
I am indeed. What a shambles of a division. I can't stand the bet. How on earth they managed to pull that one out is unbelievable.
It's the Falcons.
I think the Bears will win the division.
You think the Bears will win the division?
Nick Foles at quarterback, it makes a massive difference. And that defense is unbelievable.
Mate, not over the Packers.
That defense is unbelievable.
It's still not over the Packers. Aaron Rodgers.
We had the same reaction pre-season when he was saying the same thing. So it isn't no, he did actually say it, and we were like, nah.
But they're just, Aaron Rodgers and Nick not in the same stratosphere. There's a reason Nick Foles got let go.
No, I agree. I do understand that Nick Foles is back and quarterback, but I picked the Bears to win the division before the season started. Like I was in on the Bears. I think the Bears that were like, I didn't expect them to start 3-0, but then all of a sudden you're looking at them going, okay, the Falcons should have won that game, but the Falcons they're in disarray. Like they're a mess.
Yeah,
but
mate,
I look at it and
we're talking about like not playing good teams. Lions week 1, Giants week 2, Falcons week 3, and to be fair, they've all been tight games. The Bears have had to sort of grind these ones out, but when it gets to the nitty gritty, surely, mind you, their strength of schedule is just not too tough. Actually,
they've got a weak schedule.
Colts, 5 against the Buccaneers, 6 against the Panthers. It's all right for the next few weeks. And
obviously they've got now Trubisky's out, which is probably a blessing to every Chicago Bear fan. It's funny because they were talking the other day about how it's weird that he's been dropped. He's an undefeated quarterback and he's been dropped.
But he's just whack, bruv.
He's not very good.
He's rubbish. I can't believe he won. I can't believe he won the QB battle in the first place.
It's crazy, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's just one of those things where the organisation has so much stock, or do you know what I mean? In the player, you're getting that as a coach. You're getting that pressure from the top down. They're talking about news just in live on air. They're talking about moving the Titans Steelers game to Monday Night Football. The COVID bit.
Yeah, because the Titans they've had 9 members of staff, haven't they?
Yeah, mate.
Test positive.
Fantastic stuff. But yeah, no, I'm out on your Bears take. But if you want to stick,
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Someone's got to believe in somebody. You know what I mean? And
somebody won a lot of money on Leicester City in 2016. So we take those on.
Sure.
Did you see the goal that won all that money on Mahomes scoring the first touchdown last night?
No.
Geezer bet a grand on Mahomes to score the first touchdown. He got him he won him 36 grand.
Why was it 36-1?
Not a clue. I seen it and I was like, what? There's a video of the geezer celebrating after winning.
What the hell, bruv?
I want that bookie.
Yeah, so do I. He must have had it in. He must have had something else in the get going on as well.
It's got to be
It's
an
like-
acca of some form.
But
What?
No idea.
Did he rush for the first touchdown?
yeah,
I'm still not having it.
you know, he might as well have walked in. To be fair,
Yeah, that's true. What was gonna? Who are you expecting to take the NFC, mate?
Someone from the NFC West. Jesus Christ. I'd quite like to think the Seahawks or the Packers, which seems to be a very easy call right now and a pretty mundane call. Shall I give you something juicier? I don't really think I can. The Seahawks look so dominant.
you wanted to say the Bears, really, didn't you?
Can't say I did. Yeah.
Do you expect? What about the Saints? You expecting the Saints to be up there, or?
Do you know what? So I mentioned earlier I was chatting to my boy Josh, who's actually a coach for the London Blitz. So a fantastic football mind, mate. If I ever sort of if we ever do a fan event or whatever, I'll bring him along. He's got some incredible stories. He spent 5 weeks out in Texas coaching. My God,
Nice.
you know, around Baylor and stuff. Like, it's just a different life out there, of course. But back to the point, we were talking about the game. Alvin Kamara looks sensational, but is Drew Brees declining is a real worry because he's still making the right reads, etc., etc. But some of these balls are dying on him, which is what I mentioned earlier. You know, Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is currently the 5th leading receiver in the NFL, by the way. 285 yards on 27 receptions.
Madness.
And Sean Payton, you know, backs himself to get Kamara the ball. And I know Michael Thomas is out for Drew Brees, but the Packers are able to shrink the field on them. They're able to shrink the field. They're able to sit off and just, you know, let the Saints go dump off passes, etc., etc. And perhaps slightly worrying. I don't back the Saints personally. I think you know, a healthy 49 team with Jimmy G back soon. I hear he is going to come back soon. You know, the Seahawks. Just completely different gravy. I'd rather take the Rams than the Saints.
I can deal with that solid prediction, to be fair. See, I think the Seahawks will be there or thereabouts. Tampa Bay are going to be there or thereabouts. Green Bay, the Bears. But and then in the AFC, you do look at the Ravens, you look at the Chiefs, the Steelers. We're knocking about Patriots and Titans, and probably you look at the Bills. I mean, I'm out on the Bills because I want to see if they can come and show up in our house, and they got to take the throne. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Chiefs did that to come and take the throne. They did that. But
Who are you expecting in the Super Bowl, Yanni? What are you expecting to see faced right now?
I do struggle with these predictions.
Yeah.
The Chiefs. I'd love to see. Oh my God, I'd love to see the Chiefs versus the Packers in the Super Bowl. That would be absolutely sensational.
2 gunslingers.
Absolute slingage. That would be. Yeah, give me Packers versus Chiefs Super Bowl. We'll book it in.
I can see Chiefs Seahawks. Personally.
There you
Chiefs
go.
Bucks.
Chiefs Bucks.
Mm.
Buying in.
I know what TB12 can do. I know what happens when it gets to December and it gets to playoff time. I've seen it year after year after year.
Yeah. Didn't they get knocked out the first round?
Yeah, last year when we had no receivers, nothing, like when it like last year. Don't get me wrong, like we got ran over by the Titans. That's what happened. But Brady was already out. They were all out.
Yeah, they were all out. To be fair, checked out. No, I'd love nothing more. I'd love nothing more than to watch, you know, Tampa Bay team with Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady go at it. Quick one. I haven't dived too much into Tampa this year. Carl, how's Gronkowski looked?
The first 2 weeks, he was just literally playing as a blocking tight end, mate. He got a lot more of the ball this week, and he looked a lot stronger this week, definitely. So I'm hoping he starts factoring in more. Say that again, bud.
Just trying to keep him in, not ready to go right now. Quite.
Yeah, it seemed like they were just easing him in, mate. And I think with everything, all the problems that the Broncos had, they saw that as an opportunity to do so. But OJ Howard as well. OJ Howard's been stepping up. We haven't seen much of Bray, but I think in the next couple of weeks, Gronk's going to be the man.
3 I'd call big name tight ends. That is outrageous.
I know, mate. I know.
The offense is actually.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, he played well on Sunday. Saw a lot more of the ball. I expect to see more in the next couple of weeks as well. But Leonard Fournette as well. He's been all right. He's looked sharp. Rojo still grinding away. But Chris Godwin's the one. Obviously, I love Mike Evans. I think he's absolutely fantastic. But I think Chris Godwin's going to be the one this year.
Dynamic. Absolutely. Yeah. You're right.
So yeah, hopefully it will be us, because me stupidly in lockdown I bought in straight away and booked flights to Tampa for Super Bowl week. So we need to fucking be there before we get going.
Doesn't happen.
So I know, mate. I'm fucked. I don't know what I'll do.
That's brilliant.
But yeah. Yani, mate, it's an absolute legend. Thank you for jumping on with us. We're going to
never turn down an opportunity to chat ball with the boys.
Yeah, hopefully we can get you on a bit more often, mate, if you're up for it, because it'll be a good crack.
100%.
Perfect. But yeah, Yani, social wise, mate, where can everyone find you that's dropped in today?
Yeah. So it's at Yani Ourabah. Just type in at Yani and it should come up. Let's get big time. So YANI. Follow me on the socials, man. I enjoy it. Sometimes I will disappear for a good month or end up in the Lake District on a bender. But
there's nothing wrong with that, mate.
There's nothing. That genuinely happened during August. I was all over the country, and then ended up in the Lake District. Beautiful though, wonderful. Yeah, nobody heard from me for a while, and then suddenly I'm back. I'm here, boys.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, so make sure you go and follow Yani over on his socials. Again, mate, thank you very much for coming on. Beeves, Liam, thanks again. Been your boys from 4th and Inches. I'm sure Yani will be back on soon. Have a good week. Peace.
Peace.